Okay, so here we have Perona versus Lucci. We get our opening hands. I believe I won the die roll, I think. Actually, yeah, I won the die roll and I picked second. So Lucci likes to go second. I took second to take him off curve, and Perona also likes going second here because it allows me to gecko first and Isho if I need to Isho or if I want to. So here I have my opening hand. Normally we would have them on our little camera right there on the bottom left corner, but we haven't done that yet because we forget that we need to do that here. So I know that I have a Momonosuke in my hand. I'm kind of thinking if I want to play it out, and if I do, if I want to search or if I want to leave it standing. But then I remember that Lucci plays 3-cost Brook, so I believe that I just opt to go ahead and search. Let's see if that's what I do. Yep. Well, I played out for sure. And we are searching. So, my opponent is a returning One Piece player. So, he's new to the Lucci deck. So, if you see, like, any, I guess, mistakes, that is likely part of the reason why, again, he's kind of back on One Piece again. And normally we would be mic'd up, but we actually were here, and I think just the whoever was running the tournament forgot to do that. So it's actually kind of funny, but we are mic'd up here and we are talking to each other. But as you see, I put my hand down on the bottom left, and there's his hand on the upper left. So he has a Sabo in his lobby, which is really good because me taking first from him allows him to either have the decision of either playing a Brook if he draws one, which he does, or having to play the stage. So he's going to swing 5 at my life, I believe. He's not going to play the stage here. It looks like Brook is going to come down. I am a 5 life leader, so I'm not necessarily worried about taking this first hit, which I do. And the Brook, it does come down on a curve and KO the Momo. So swinging life is correct there because there's just no reason to not play the Brook out. You get a body. Plus, if I play any other 1-drops, those get KO'd anytime Brook swings. And it also forces me to rest the Brook here and having to commit something to that instead. So I decide to actually go life here, I believe, with just 5. I do have 4 Dawn up. He's going to take this first hit. Again, he's also a 5 life leader. I rest his Brook here, and I believe Hiyori comes out. Hiyori is going to bring out the Ryuma. I will draw a card off the Hiyori and then KO with the Ryuma. Again, he's a returning player, so he's going to be reading a few cards just to kind of make sure he understands what's going on. And we take out the Brook, and then we pass turn. He draws another 8-cost Sabo for turn. Actually, that's his only 8-cost Sabo. He draws an 8-cost Sabo for turn. And as you can see, his hand is actually pretty good. Having the Tempest Kick here really helps address any of my big bodies, since I will be able to play them first, considering that I am on the even curve and he's on odd curve. So that means on 9, he could go something like Tempest Kick Gecko if he needs to, or Tempest Kick Sabo. He's going to swing life. He actually mills 2 Sabos there, which is pretty huge for me. And I give him a 2K. He, at this point, will play out the Helmeppo, reducing the Ryuma. And then play out... I can't even see who that is, honestly. I think that's 3-cost Brook again. That sounds right. And yeah, so now we're on my turn. Let's see, we grab a Isho off the top of our deck, and now we are left with a few options here. We're going to, I guess, see what we can do on our 8 Dawn turn here. Going to search with the Momonosuke. Finding 5 cards, looking for a green Wano card. Momo can actually search himself, so it is harder for him to miss. Otama can't search herself, so she is easier to miss, but she is a 2K. And she doesn't have to rest herself to search, making her a better target for You Can Be My Samurai. And I grab the Ryuma, it looks like. So I rest the Brook. Let's see, what are we gonna do here? Do I just swing into it? Yep. No, I swing into his life. And we play another Ryuma to go ahead and KO it. Now he draws a Borsalino for turn, which a lot of people think Borsalino is actually bad against Perona because you can just get free rests on it. But at the end of the day, if I'm resting it and swinging into it, it's still a blocker. And on top of that, it's a body, right? So it's a body that I can't KO with Ryuma or any of my other cards. And it is a body that you can just swing 5k with, even if you don't want to use it as a blocker, since if you think it's going to get rested. It also forces me when I have Ryuma out, or whenever you have Borsalino out and an 8-drop, if I want to rest anything, it puts me in a position where either I have to rest the Borsalino or I have to rest the 8-drop, which then at that point Borsalino becomes an actual blocker that can't just get free rested every time. So that is something to consider. He's finally going to play the stage out. He's a Yu-Gi-Oh player, so he put stage up there, and I'm just letting him know he has to put it over here. Not necessarily has to, but it keeps it out of the way. So stage finally hits the board. He's going to swing at the Momonosuke. We're not saving that. It's too expensive to save. And now he has 3 Dawn left. He is likely just going to attach that to lead and swing, which he does. And then I will give him 2Ks more than likely here. I actually decide not to, and I take that hit because I believe those are the only counters in my hand. So I opt to just go ahead and save the counter. I'm actually now on my 8 Dawn turn. So Isho is live. Isho can come out, do his thing, and then we can just start swinging at him. Isho is incredibly good into Lucci here, and even if he does have stage, it still is a body that he has to remove. I'm not sure if I leave the Helmeppo up. I'd probably ask if he has one. If I swing into the Helmeppo here, that's actually a mistake because I don't want to put that in trash to make it easier for him to KO something. So if I do here, then that's definitely a misplay on my end. So as I said, Isho is going to hit the board. We're going to take 2 cards. We'd like to take 2 consecutive cards sometimes because people like to order their cards. Even though they shuffle them, a lot of times cards will still remain together. So we're going to swing. We actually do hit the Helmeppo. So either he has one in life or I've made a mistake. We're going to swing 6 life. He's going to give me a 2k. So Isho coming in really strong. That turn, we took 3 cards out of their hand. 2 off the Isho, 1 off of the 6k swing. There's just really no reason for me to clear the Helmeppo there either. I should just leave it. But if he had one in trash, then it doesn't really matter either way. It's just 1 extra card that I could have taken out of life potentially. So as you can see, his hand is double Sabo, Lucci, and 1 other card that I can't see. I think it's a counter. So stage, yep, is going to go on the Isho. Lucci is going to swing on life and reduce the Isho. So Isho is now a 5 cost, making Sabo a great play here. 8's going to come out, KOing only the Isho, but still also establishing a 9k body, getting a Lucci in trash, and still just doing work. Getting Isho off the board is really important in any black matchup because having a passive AoE for 1 Dawn is really strong. Unfortunately for this my opponent, I do have the Ice Age for the Sabo. I actually save it in this matchup for his 8 drops. That way I have a way to just clear them instantly. And then we are going to play our Gecko here. It's quite unfortunate the opponent hasn't really seen their geckos, but I mean, that's One Piece. You know, every TCG has times where you're not going to see your bodies that you want to see. So Ryoma will come out here, KOing the Sabo. And then we're going to go ahead and grab a Momonosuke. There is an argument to be made to put the Ryuma rested here and the Momonosuke active, so I can search off of it. But I believe I'm going to opt to do something else instead, which is going to be to rest the Ryuma and the Gecko. Can give me a 2K. He takes a 5. Yep. And then we're going to play the Samurai here, resting the Gecko and the Ryuma. Neither of them can attack here, and we draw 2 cards. At the end of the day, you still have to get over a 9K body, and in order for Leader to do that by himself, he has to at least commit forward on, shutting off any of his 8-drop plays. So it is safe to rest the Gecko here. Even if he can remove it, he will have to commit to it, and that makes it just fine to go ahead and rest and get your extra cards. It being rested versus active is the same exact thing in Lucci, because if they have the cards to out it, like a Gecko Moria Tempest Kick, then having it active or rested really doesn't matter. So you might as well just go ahead and rest it, get the value out of your Samurai instead of hanging on to that card, seeing 2 more cards. Unfortunately, we didn't see any more counter, but we do have, like I said, we have Ice Ages to go ahead and clear any sort of boss monster that may come out. So we have another Gecko in hand, we have the Ice Ages, we have the Isho. So we have 4K counter, which means that we're still pretty good. Fortunately though, we are even in life here, but I have so much tempo just on the board alone that if he can't address my board, then he's pretty much dead with only having 3 cards in hand. So he's got to make a play here. He's kind of eyeing this Gecko here, and I don't remember if this is the play he opts for, but we will see. He's probably going to swing. Yep, he's going to go ahead and swing 7 at my life. I don't remember if I take this or not. I'm tempted to say that I do, but if I counter out of it, it isn't necessarily bad either. I like to try and stay as healthy as possible. He reduces the Gecko by 1, meaning that he can now stage and Sabo the Gecko to get it removed and hit the Momonosuke, so leaving me with just 2 Ryumas. Yep, I take this life here. I do see a Hiyori off of it, which is another counter. The problem here though is for him is playing another Sabo would mean that he has in the past 2 turns effectively got rid of 4 cards out of his hand from playing Sabo, and that does kind of hurt his hand advantage. So he puts stage on the Ryuma. Ryuma goes down to 2. Gecko is still at 7. He's gonna opt for the Gecko instead. If he has Rebecca in trash, this is kind of a better play, but it doesn't look like he has the Rebecca. He's reading his Gecko here. He honestly forgot that he gets a 1 cost and a 2 cost here, or a 2 cost and a 4 cost, I should say. So realistically, this is a mistake because he has Helmeppo in trash. So if he puts stage on the Gecko and brings out the Helmeppo here, then that puts Gecko Moria down to 2, and Momo's already a 1 cost. So you get to clear the Gecko and the Momo. And this is actually something I explained to him after the game, if I remember correctly, that he could have cleared both of these. But honestly, at this point in the game, I don't really think it mattered because I have so much tempo on the board, and I think that I kill him next turn anyway. If not, we're at the very least able to clear the Gecko Moria. So we do see the Isho here, which is huge. So actually, I don't think that I kill him this turn. He still has 3 cards in hand. I'm going to go for an Ice Age for sure here. Even though I have 7K counter in my hand, I need to just go ahead and clear the board. Again, I have another Gecko Moria. He put one of my Ryumas in trash, which again is another reason why you would want to hit my Gecko there. he's, like I said, he's new, so that's definitely a mistake that he's made on his end. And ever since then, I've been watching him play, and he knows now. But I guess this kind of comes with like playing the Lucci deck, knowing your numbers, knowing the math, knowing how much you can remove with how much reduction you have is always going to be your best friend when playing with the Rob Lucci deck. So we have Tin Dawn here still. I am thinking, but my play seems pretty obvious here. We're gonna go ahead and Ice Age the Gecko, resting 1 Dawn for that, and then we're going to rest the Gecko with leader ability, making sure that it is rested before Gecko Moria hits the board. That way Ryuma's effect can go off. If we have a Yori in trash, it really doesn't matter, but we don't have a Ryuma in hand anyway. So again, we're going to make the same play we made last turn, where we're going to Ryuma the Gecko, and or in an 8 cost, I should say, and we're going to bring a Momo out rested. So we have 7k counter in our hand and Ice Age. So anything that comes out can get rested because of Perona. We're going to go ahead and swing 5k at life here. And I think he counters this. Yeah, you're actually supposed to counter that there, because you save 1 card versus having to give me the 2 cards on this 7k attack that you have to take. So then he sees an Isho. Again, this was a game where it really was just kind of coming down to me having so much tempo the entire game. It realistically didn't matter how well he drew or how well he played, because I just saw better cards. I had more tempo. Even though he did get me down to 1 life, if he would have been able to play a little bit more aggressively, then yeah, I would have been in danger. Because as you can see, like I said, I'm down to 1 life. He is threatening lethal this turn, but he does not know how much counter I have. And this is kind of why I opted to save all of these counters in my hand for a turn just like this, where he could try to squeak away with a win by simply just loading up everything. He recognizes that this is his win condition, that he needs to be able to clear both of these attacks, and that clearing my board is not enough to win. And even if there's no way for him to do that, so he has to go for life here with all of his Dawn and both Lucci's on board. And by both Lucci's, I mean his leader and his character. I think your best option here is to try to swing 10-10. We'll see what he goes with here. I believe he goes with 9. And we counter out of that with 2s. It is irrelevant. We could have gone 2 2s and a 1. It all accomplishes the same thing here. He's showing me what he had, but at the end of the day, it mostly didn't matter. The only real misplay that he efficiently made was the fact that he didn't remove the Gecko when he should have, which would have saved him maybe 1 extra life, and he maybe would have got an extra turn, but that just simply means that on my next turn I still would have killed him anyway. He would just have 1 more life for me to hit off of him. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave a like, and if you want to come back and see more One Piece content, please hit that subscribe button.